Mm-hmm.
We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time of the day again, and we are here on the TLAD Talk Show. Guys, are we glad to be here? We are so glad because just like every other day, my brother from another mother, Mr. Ajamu, all the way from United States, where he's sitting right now, is in Florida, USA. It's 3:30 American time. It is 9:30 South African time, and it is 8:30 Nigerian time. We are reaching all of you here, and we are sure that you are going to enjoy the show. Stay blessed and get ready for the real show. We are here. So,
Whoa.
without wasting any time, yeah, he's here. Takram Freeman from Liberia is here. He's trying to connect. Let us not worry. Immediately he connect, I will get to introduce him. But without wasting any time, let me introduce my co-host, my brother from another mother, Brother Ajamu. And Brother Ajamu will be the one introducing our guest today, all the way from Nigeria. So, Brother Ajamu, over to you. Thank you very much.
All right. How's everybody doing today? Um, we're in some type of holiday on this side, even though I don't celebrate none of them. But anyway, everything is good so far this side. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and introduce our guest. So I don't see Mr. Freeman. He's there, but he's not there yet.
Yeah,
But
let's
I
continue.
but I do
Let's
see
introduce Zeddy. Yeah.
Zende though, Mr. Zende though. I see him. What would you like me to call you? What's your first name? What would you like me to address you as?
Okay.
Michael?
Th-
I mean,
Hello, yeah,
yeah.
Mr. Ajam, a good day. In fact, I'm happy to have you guys host me on this show today. I'm really proud of what you guys are doing, and I know that Africa is going to be better for it someday, very, very soon. Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. I have a,
I get him in at all.
I have a short biography to read. So, Shinge Zendido Michael is a graduate of the Federal University of Agriculture, uh, Makuli, with a bachelor's in agriculture, fisheries, and aquaculture, where he is currently studying for his MSc in agribusiness management, a certified agribusiness coach by ICRA, the International Center for Development Orientated Research in Agriculture, a third-party certification agent with National Agriculture Seed Council of Nigeria, and a certified customer relationship manager with the Chartered Institute of Customer Relationship Management. He is a astute agripreneur with over 11 years of working experience. He has worked and consulted for firms, which include IFDC, Two Scale Project and Venue. Did I pronounce that right? Or is it Benoit? The in Inventive Minds Nigeria, he has Business World and Indorama, the Ileme Fertilizer and Chemical Ltd. He's the president founder, the Star Farmer Africa, the MD CEO of Sega Global Ltd. And co-founder of Denko Farms Ltd. And he is the governor of the Agribusiness Hangout and Agricultural Summit. He's a member of YPAC, TARD, the Young Professional for Agricultural Development Entrepreneurs Network, and the Young Entrepreneurs of Nigeria, YEN. So, welcome this brother to our show, and I'm pretty sure he has a lot to add to the conversation. Make sure you guys don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. TLAD. We do this every week, every Sunday. So please subscribe, join, like, comment, everything. And maybe.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that was our guest, a very brilliant young man, and that is a lot that he has been doing and he is still doing in Nigeria. I'm personally very proud of this young man, of how far he has come. And you know what we do on this show. We don't just bring anybody on this show. We bring somebody that has something to offer to you guys, because you give your time and your attention to listen to us. So we don't want to waste your time. And that's the reason why, even at this episode of this very show right here, we make sure that we brought this young man here, and he think he can answer our question. But then sometimes me and my brother Ajamu, we can be so pushy, my brother. And so you just get ready to answer a lot of questions here, because the topic of the show today is very close to my heart, because I can argue this thing till I don't know, but then I can, if I start arguing about this, if I start debating about this, I don't stop. So the short question is, which is the topic of the debate: can Africa survive without the Western world? Is it possible that we can survive without them?
All right. Thank you so much. I think we are not going to be arguing. We're going to be discussing on this platform today.
Right.
Yeah. And I feel my short answer to that question is yes. We can survive without the Westerners. That's my short answer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But then that short answer of yours, you already said we're not gonna be arguing here. We're not gonna be debating. But then that short answer of yours, I can unequivocally tell you no. Like it's not happening. They can't live without them. And let's get Mr. Ajimu to say one or two things, and I will prove to you why the Africans cannot live. Listen, when I ask this question, I don't want
about that, right?
Yes, I don't want you to answer me like, if I ask you who you are, I don't want you to answer me who you want to be. Do you understand what I mean? It's not who you want to be, it's who you are at that particular time.
I still maintain my yes. I still maintain my yes.
Great.
Because who you are, you can't be somebody great without knowing it. That doesn't mean that's not who you are. Africa is a great continent that would have survived. Yeah. So maybe go ahead and I'll come to that. Yeah. That is it.
Yeah. When a volcano is dormant and it has not happened yet, it has no threat on anybody until it happens. So if it never happened, then we're scared of. So if you want to tell me that I know who I am, but then I'm not that yet. So can I unequivocally tell somebody that I am that when I'm not that yet? I just having it in my head that I'm that.
All right.
Yeah, we'll come back, Mr. Ajamu.
To answer that question, I have to look at it from two sides. One side, me personally, I think that Africa can survive on its own. However, there's another side that I don't like to look at, but it's there, and it's the mindset of the population.
Exactly.
So the mindset of the population, and I ran into this yesterday. I was telling Queen Father, and I was at a party, and there was a lot of people from Nigeria there. However, it was at a Nigerian store or event center, and you can kind of see the different mindset. So I'm not saying that the people, because they have a different mindset, are bad or incongruent. What I'm saying is, if the mindset is not right, then the resources at hand may not be utilized properly, and therefore you would still need to depend on somebody else whose mindset is different. So my answer is twofold. One side of me, my whole being, my whole body and quote unquote soul, my whole being says yes, we can live on, do everything on our own. But a lot of the brothers that I speak to and deal with, their mindset is so messed up, it would be nearly impossible to be on our own, because we would always be somehow at odds with each other and not unified to move forward. So there's my answer. You got it.
So
I got it from both sides. I mean, not both
yes.
sides. I'm not taking neutrality. I'm not taking neutrality. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Reality is, I want us to be on our own, but you got all these
Thank you
millions
so
of
much.
things looking at you like, what are you talking about? Everything's good. What do you
Yeah.
mean? So,
Yeah. Mr. Ajamu, I want to ask Comrade Shenge Zedido a question. You know, he's obsessed with agriculture, and you know that agriculture is our main source of income in Africa. Even if we try to talk about the oil and the natural resources, but the main source of our income is agriculture. Now, I want to ask you something, Zendido. If you
Yeah.
said we can survive without the West, I want you to just look around where you are right now, which is Nigeria. How many food product, that you guys import in your country?
All right. Yeah. I'm going to say that we are Africans,
Yeah.
and like Brother Jamu said, uh, it's about the mindset. That's why I said it's a yes for me completely. Because the things we import are actually here, and
Exactly.
we also export, right? For
Mm.
instance, in my state, Benue State, we were exporting yams, and people were
Okay.
dying of hunger at the IDPs. All right, that's it. So
Yeah.
it's a mindset thing. The same things we import, we also export them to other countries. So why? For instance, I have a bee farm, and I
Yeah.
sell my honey around Nigeria, but Nigeria also still exports honey to Nigeria, to the country over $10 billion. All right. So the problem is the mindset. We can actually feel that we may not need these people, but it's our mindset. So yes, we'll not be able to really put ourselves in a place to help. All right. But if
Mm.
we just research our mindsets properly, we don't need anybody. I mean, anybody to help us grow. Besides, we were the ones who knew. I think this is in our blood. Agriculture is in our blood. Development is in our blood. But something came and took away all these things from us. Now we feel dependent on them, dependent on the West, because they made us seem so. But actually, they're still feeding on our resources. So I said, that's just my answer. What Brother Ajamu said, the mindset thing. You have to change our mindset. I'm telling you, we will feed ourselves abundantly. And let me tell you, Africa is the future of the world, like it or not. We are the future of the world. Whatever's going to happen, they're going to come back to us. They're going to come back to us. That is it. So food, we are farmers. All of us are farmers. That's the point. So we shouldn't have any need importing food. Like I said, the same food we import. Check around South Africa. They still export the same food they import. Check around. Why are they doing that? Why? So the mentality is a big challenge. And if you're able to solve that mentality, I tell you, we will be something else in this world. That's our submission for now. Thank you.
So actually, your answer is yes and no at the same time. Because according to what you're saying, there is a problem. There is a problem that makes us to totally depend on these people, right?
We're not totally
And
dependent.
now,
We're not totally dependent. We're not totally dependent. We are,
exactly,
we are dependent, but we're not totally
exactly.
dependent. That's what exactly. Yeah. So for me,
So
it's a yes. Yeah.
it's a yes. We can live without them, but at the
Yes.
same
But,
time,
but no. For now, we are not. For now, we are not. We are
uh,
dependent
that
on
that is exactly what I'm
them
saying.
now.
For now,
Doesn't
we
mean
are
we
not.
can live on our. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. For
Mm.
now, we are not, but that doesn't
Yes.
mean we cannot. So now,
Yes.
but when you look at all of the problems that you have mentioned, whatever the challenges and all of those stuff that you have mentioned, do you think there is any possibility at all that we will get out of this case? Because remember this, because we are Africans, and a lot of people watching this thing right now, they're Africans. So we want to be realistic to ourselves. We are a consuming continent. We consume,
Yeah.
right? We consume literally everything. We consume the technology. We consume the food. We consume every single thing. So the question is, the person who is always consuming, when exactly will he think of producing? Because whether we like it or not, let us shout on top of our voices and whatsoever. If I am producing and you are consuming, I'm more than you. You still
Yeah. Of
depending on
course.
me. You
Of
understand?
course. Of course. Of course.
So,
Yeah. That's
so,
true.
so, when do you think that the farming industry in Africa will be cherished by Africans? Because you said something. Some of the things that are in Africa, some of our people prefer to buy them overseas
Yeah.
rather than to use the local ones. So,
Exactly.
according to you, what exactly will make our stuff interesting to our people?
Hmm.
All right. So let me give an example. The challenge with agriculture is simple. Agri needs efficiency, right? We need to be efficient in doing what we need to do, not just agri in every other sector of the economy. But in Nigeria or in Africa, we don't look. We still look at things the crude way. All right. And in as much as we have the ability to produce machinery or bring in ideas that will change the course of our living. With, for instance, look at the civil war in Nigeria. I'm just bringing this up now. The Igbos were able to produce their machine guns. They refined oil in Igbo land. All right, that was during the civil war. They made submarines in Nigeria. They didn't go anywhere to do those things. They made jet oil in Nigeria. So we can do this technology in Nigeria. After the war, what happens? You don't see them do anything. No opportunity for them to do because they can do it. They didn't employ any expert to come and do those things for them here at that time. You know, so these are things we could do. I've had people in my under my clusters in the agri sector who have been wonderful. You know, but we have a challenge. People, like I said, people prefer buying the foreign. Why? Because we have been told over and over and over and over that the foreign ones are better than us. So this is what we are doing now. I would think that we have a 10-year projection. I would think that we're going to see a lot of persons changing their mentality. We're able to bring in guys from time to time to talk to them, you know, and ask them to showcase what they have. So whatever you produce is valuable to us. And what do we showcase to the world? We started doing some things in Benue State, and we started writing "Made in Benue" products. Made in Benue. At the first time, people were not really interested in them, but now people are writing "Made in Benue" on their products. All right. So that Nigeria just needs something. And of course, this is not censored. Let me say this: when the Buhari administration came to power, there were some challenges. There was some little hard time in Nigeria. Lots of guys went back to entrepreneurship, and they were excelling without the help of anybody. Then the MMM game and all guys took their money and put it into the Ponzi scheme. One thing about Africa again, we love things that are very easy. All right, we love things that are very easy. Just give me 20 million, I'll give you 10 in 2 days. They do it, and that was what took them back again. So we were becoming productive. I saw guys becoming productive. More guys are becoming entrepreneurs. You see more guys reaching to learn entrepreneurship. More guys doing their things themselves. And you know what? We are buying from among ourselves. If I produce, people buy among ourselves. That is it. So I tell you, it's a small thing, and we are no more than 1,000 now. But I know that between now and 30 years, it should be not less than 1 million. So Africans are rising up, at least at the place I am. And I've also interacted with people outside of this country. I have a friend in Zambia. We talk a lot about agriculture, the things they are doing there, how they are excelling. Lots of guys are doing. If you have to study, check Mr. Strive as a page on Facebook, you will see lots of innovation coming up in Africa. This is done by Africans. So we are thinking and we are making things work. The challenge is, and you know one funny thing, we don't need any government now to help us. That's what we have realized. That government cannot help us, so we are doing it on our own terms. That's the idea. So I tell you, I'm giving you 10 years. In 10 years' time, the number of young guys, the number of people in Africa who will be thinking better, acting better, and doing better will be over 1 billion, over 1 million rather. And you will see that. Thank you.
Yeah, that was so optimistic of your ideas that you think they're really gonna work, and but see, we cannot deny what the bad governance would do to even a hardworking youth. We got to have that in our mind also, because one thing I understand is that no matter how hardworking young people are, if they don't have a proper leadership, they're not going to go very far. Because, for example, the agricultural products that you are talking about, let's say we are producing everything in Sek Baraba, and there is no road to take it to Makodi. There is no road to take it to Boko. How are they going to do? You understand? And yeah. So all of these things, that's the reason why I said it is not the futuristic self of Africa we are talking about here. We're talking about our current situation that we are in as a people. And the current situation that we are in as a people says that we cannot live without this guy. Because one, our rich people love driving big cars. They drive those big cars on those small roads. Like, yeah, they can do whatever to have those big cars. But then if you check around Africa, you can just find like 2 or 3 places that a motor car is even being produced. I don't even know. Like, So all of this stuff, and these people, they love luxurious life. And it will be hard for them to live without these things. And that's why they don't care to steal all the money in order to travel abroad, in order to enjoy these things. But the question is, those people also built their country on land. Last show, we were having the gubernatorial aspirant of Kenya. She came on the show, Brother Ajam, you still remember her. Now, yeah, so she made mention of South Korea. And I remember very well, South Korea and Kenya got their independence on the same day, not week, on the same day. Kenya and South Korea. But look at where South Korea is today, and look at where Kenya is today. So in as much as, even if we decide to say, young people, we're going to change our mind, then there is no electricity. Then there are no roads. What are we going to do? Are we going to live without these people? AU headquarters in Addis Ababa was built by Chinese. So
Man, that is
do,
heartbreaking.
exactly. So that is AU. It was
That
built
is
by
heartbreaking.
Chinese. So do we just want to tell ourselves that, you know what? Yeah, no matter what is happening, we gonna live. We gonna live, man. Like nothing.
Let me
We gonna live. But
let, let,
then,
let,
don't
let
you
me refer
think
you
we
back to
just
Brother
say
Jamo. Let me refer you back to
yeah,
Brother Jamo. See, the first statement he made, all right, is the
yeah,
only thing that is challenge of Africa. All right. The
mm,
first statement he made is the only thing that's a challenge of Africa. Recently in Nigeria, the territorial, the first of its kind, and the students in that school drew that architectural work. All right, it was in Lagos, I think so. I think RCCG or something, a church in Nigeria. You know, in Benue State, the Toti Palace was built by Americans when they came here, but they have renovated and built a new one by Benue architectural guys. See, we know these things, King Faza, we know these things. But we have a mentality, like Brother Jamu said, that's a challenge. We have people who
yeah,
can do these things. Funny enough,
yeah,
some people have been
mm,
also trained by these same guys. The question you asked was simple. Can we live without them? You know,
exactly. Mm.
I think they can live without us, not us. I think that they cannot live without us. If you're
See
not here,
that
they will die. That's the answer.
listen,
You know,
listen. I heard you, and Mr. Ajamu actually shared the same sentiment. He
yeah.
actually said, he think the West cannot live without us. And but you got to look at something this way. It doesn't matter how much food you have. If you do not know that you do not have food, you will still be hungry. Do you understand what I mean? And the
Bro,
person that knows that you have food and is coming to take it from you will always keep you in the dark so that he will thrive on your food. So the question is, are we even ready to know who we are? Are we even ready? Because let's just even start from there. Are we because how many times have you brought up something and somebody said no, it's made in Benue State, so it's of no use.
90% of 9 out of 10 is like that.
Exactly.
9% say, yeah, that's it, 9 out of 10. But
Exactly.
you know what? We are resilient, man. We are Africans, and I tell you now things are changing. See, this mentality has been there for a very long time. It has been there for before I was born.
Yeah,
Are
exactly.
you getting me at all? Good. It has been there before I was born. Remember, I go to
Exactly.
train some people train them on best agri practices. My time is Zendi, this thing we don't do it before they are born you now. You understand, ba? Like they've been doing this before you were giving birth to. Exactly, you know. So you can't teach us, you can't teach us.
Exactly.
And I say,
Exactly.
sir, please just try my method and see. And the next day they come running. Like it
Yeah.
worked for us, it worked for us, you know. So what I'm saying is that we have had this mentality that the black man is an inferior personality being for a very long time. And so the fight is not a fight of resources. It's not a fight of currency valuation. It's a fight of mindsets. It's a mindset fight. We've been how to put that? We've been removed to believe that we are less of it, which in fact we're the best of it. So I just want to take time. I just want to take time. For now, we may be dependent on them in some few areas. But look at some, and the president that just died, is it Magufuli? I don't know. He never went out
Yeah.
of his country.
Yeah.
Is that he didn't go out of his country? Did he? He did what in his country? Did he borrow money from anywhere? No.
Yeah. No, he
That's a
never
simple
borrowed money
example.
from you. Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so that tells me that people we are just wasting. You know, we just want to live big. There's a guy in Nigeria, Benny Ago. He does tractors that can run with it can do 4 hectares with 2 liters of fuel. Nobody sponsors him. We have people doing some of this instead. See, uh, I don't want to point at leaders because leaders are most part of the leaders, you know. So I don't want to point at the leaders, but I know for certain that our mindset has been altered, and the only way is what to reset our mindset. And that's what we are doing. That's what we are doing. We may not be able to get across Africa, but at least for now, I know a bit of agriculture. So through agriculture, I'm trying to say I can bring people together. That's why we have the Staff from Africa as an organization. We are looking at how do we unite all Africans together and harness agricultural ideas and see how they can work in our continent. You know, that's what we are doing. And we believe that it's going to work because you have people who are already doing things. If you look around, Ms. King Fazan, there are young people doing things. Young people are doing things, great things in this continent. Just look around and see. So I know my projection is 10 years. For now, we may have people still who want to think big, want to go out of the country. But I have people who don't even think about just leaving Nigeria and not coming back. They want to go, in fact, come back and in fact, people come from other countries, come and learn from Nigeria too, or in African countries too. You know, so the issue of migration is a normal thing. But I know for a certain that Africans have what it takes. In fact, I'm still saying we are the future of the world. We are the future of the world. That's my submission.
Yeah, Mr. Ajamu, if we have 2 or 3 questions for Mr. Zendido. Zendido, that was very elaborate, my friend. And I just pray that the future comes. I was talking to a group of young people, and I said, don't be those kind of dreamers that dream and never wake up. So if we are dreaming for Africa, we should be taking a step.
Exactly.
Yes, Brother.
Yeah. Before I ask any type of questions, I do have some comments. What's happening now, which is the most potent thing in what I call an information war, because we're at war. Some people would say we're not at war, but we are. We're at war with information. So Africa lacks information because it's not been given to the people on the continent so they can produce. I mean, all you got to do is look at the country of Haiti. You don't have to believe me. Look at the country of Haiti. Once they got their independence from France and from England and from Spain, those powers that were in control at that time turned their back on Haiti. But they were still able to maintain themselves. They were able to maintain a society, a country, and so forth. And they're able to move forward, but at a very slow rate because of the fact that the rest of the world is not lending to them. They have embargoes on the country still. And even to the country to the east of Haiti, they don't help them out. The Dominican Republic does not help out Haiti. The point I'm trying to make is that the Haitians are very resilient. They're an example of how Africa needs to go about doing things. Haiti tried to be a part of the African Union at one point, and the African Union denied their acceptance into the African Union, which made no sense because 90% of Haiti is African. I know. Most of my friends are from Haiti. Creole is an African language in its syntax. It's African. It's not French. It's not broken French. Trust me, I've studied linguistics for many, many years. All right. Second thing I want to say is so over there, people need to look at Haiti for an example. They're able to withstand the onslaught, even today, of all the Western powers, and they're still able to survive. They're still able to survive. Trust me. I was just talking to a brother yesterday from Haiti. Me and him about to link up and do some stuff. The point I'm trying to make is look at that country. Second of all, you got to look at Japan, China, South Korea, Vietnam. Those countries were destroyed in warfare. World War II, Korean War, the Vietnam War. They all came out of that with no help from the Western powers. None. Zero. They're very successful today. How did they do that? I talk to them all the time. I talk to Vietnamese all the time. You know what they tell me? They say the main source of their wealth is their unity.
Exactly.
It's not what they produce. It's not what they produce. It's not how they treat the rest of the people in the world. It's not their diplomatic relations. It's the fact that they're united and they have one cause, and that's to be successful because they actually beat the United States in the Vietnam War. They beat them. The United States ran out. Yeah. You got to read the history. So South Korea and the Korean War, we're still at war. Well, not me, but the United States is still at war with Korea. And the Koreans came out of the war, or they're still in the war, I should say, but there's a line that divides North and South. They were able to build up their economy to a point where they are able to, they're very successful with automobiles, all sorts of things, electronics, television, you name it. Where did they get that knowledge from? They got it from the Japanese who went through the same deal. Are you seeing where I'm going with this?
Yes.
So Japan, Vietnam, South Korea, they all have something in common. I'm told they don't get along. The Vietnamese don't get along with the Japanese. The Japanese don't get along with the South Koreans. They don't get along. Japan and South Korea do not get along. But they get along when it's time to make some money. You get my point? You got to look at all of these things. You got to look at all of these. I'm not saying you, the people on the show. I'm talking about Africa in general. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. 2 atomic bombs dropped on the country, but yet now they're one of the strongest economically sound countries in the world. Vietnam, they dropped so much bombs on Vietnam. They said they dropped more. The U.S. dropped more bombs on Vietnam than all the wars put together in modern times. Yet they still come out. They still come out with an economy. They still with economics. They still come out with food. They still came out with medical. There's no excuse. The same thing with Japan. The same thing with South Korea. There was a war. They're still at war with the United States. People don't know that. There was a ceasefire in 1953. The United States is still at war with Korea. Yet Korea is an economic superpower. Everywhere I look in the United States, you see Hyundai vehicles. Hyundai is Korean. Check this out, y'all. Kia is Korean. Kia, Hyundai. The Koreans even bought Fila. They bought the Fila shoe company. How are they doing all of this? And they were in shambles. The people were starving to death. This ain't in the past, y'all. This is about 40 years ago. But I'm not talking about ancient past, because I know some of y'all at home are like, oh, he's a history teacher. That's all he talk about is the past. No, I'm talking about recent times, y'all. I'm talking about recent times. There's no excuse, Africans. There's no excuse no more. There's none. None. So I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on over there. And then on this side, we got problems on this side. There's a lot of Africans on this side. They want to be independent, but they own no supermarkets. They own no banks. They own no gas stations. They own no house building companies. They own no land. So how you gonna be independent? How's that work? You don't even have a farm. Where's your farm at? So I think we're waiting in the diaspora. We're waiting on the continent to kind of get its act together, because we're a source of information. We're a source of information. And believe me, I'm telling you the truth when I say this. I'm telling the truth when I say this, is that the information on this side is, you can't even put a dollar amount to it. You cannot put a dollar amount to it, because we are over here in this side, but yet we can still influence and help that side as far as information is concerned. Okay, so we're a resource. But what I'm going to ask you is that the question I have is, how does Africa how does Africa, I'm talking about not Nigeria, I'm talking about Africa. How does Africa become self-sufficient? What do you think are some of the ways it can become self-sufficient within the next 10 to 15 years? Like, really quick here. What are the main things that you think Africa needs to do to become self-sufficient?
All right. Thank you so much, Brother John, for your submission. I, I enjoyed your analysis of what has happened in other countries, even after the wars and all of that. But, I think that, I don't know, today I'm borrowing from you a lot. I heard about unity, they told you that unity keeps them together.
Yeah.
And when I heard that, I said, man, that's their answer. That's their answer.
That's what they
I
tell
was
me.
speaking to a friend of mine who stays in South Korea. He was telling me that they have built their economy through cooperatives. That the economy is built around cooperatives. 10 people come to do one thing, 20 people come to do one thing. That's how they built it. And they built in trust. You see? And so they have been thriving. Today, families, after they are dead, their children keep on enjoying their produce or their proceeds. They start working hard for those things. One, some of their parents decided that they will come together and build something that will last. So you may not see it going on now, but that's the underlying aspect of it. Cooperatives, cluster management, working together as a team. That's what has been keeping them. And I think that we have a fresh of that in agriculture. I think the whole of Africa, agriculture is the only area that talks about cooperative management. We don't talk cooperative in business management. We don't talk cooperative in owning real estates. We talk cooperative only in agriculture. I don't know why. And unfortunately, the cooperative seems not to work very well in Africa. How is it? Because we are not a united people. That's the challenge we have in South Africa. I bet we have examples of people or groups of persons who have been able to survive after a challenge. For me, I look at the people of Uganda. Look at other countries. Uganda, you have the Hutu Tutsis. They had the war. How are they faring now? How are they rising up now? What are they doing now? Look at, for instance, just few months, is it 3 weeks ago, the Harvard Business School adopted the ego mentorship style of leadership, at Harvard Business School. I think that was about a month thereabout. They adopted it because it has given more millionaires in Africa than any other place in the world. Mentorship. They're able to mentor young people to do business. And I tell you, I am in agriculture. The place I am, I look out to find a mentor. I really don't find. I see myself mentoring myself and other of my friends, learning to. We don't have mentors in Africa. We don't have people to look up to. So that's a big challenge for us. And I think that we need to adopt things that works for people. If I am here and I seeking further, do something that's working for him, and that something can work for me where I am, I should adopt it. I should not say because I am in Nigeria, I should not adopt what's happening in South Africa or Uganda or Kenya. I should adopt it. That's one. Secondly, I think Africans need to know more about themselves. We don't know more about us. We don't even know our history very well. Even the ones that come are the ones that bring hate. The history we see are the ones that make us hate Americans. I think they are not our problems. The whites are not our problems. So the stories we hear about the whites came and took away our resources, that's rubbish. They took nothing. What is available here can still do a lot of things. So we are growing through a level of hate that we don't want to sit down and learn or think strategically to produce. So I think in Africa, what we need to do is see how we can create a good level of mentorship. Very important for us. Who are we looking up to? Who are we looking up to? And are we willing to be mentored? That's what they're willing to be mentored. I've tried to have a series of mentors, and at times I discover that the ideas you give to them, they may don't, they just tell you it's rubbish. Once, rubbish. And then you begin to feel like you don't know what you're doing, something like that. So we don't really have people who can mentor us in Africa. Of course, like the Harvard School said, they got people who are able to mentor people in business. They are succeeding in business. Like, but we need mentorship in leadership too, because that's the biggest challenge. I'm going to quote an American, what's his name now? John Maxwell. He said everything rises and falls on leadership. All right, everything rises and falls on leadership. And so sometimes some people who are willing to do these things, but if the leadership does not give you time to do it. In my constituency, we have a very young person. He's the youngest House of Assembly in Benue State. He went in with good hopes. And when I talk to him, sometimes he tell me they're bros. They match me. They're pressing me down. So that's it. So we need good level of mentorship. And then we also need to study our history to a level. If we don't know ourselves, we can't go anywhere. And then I think we need to also look around us as a people and see that what can we do? What can we do on our own? What can we do to help? So if we have to do something to help, I think it's going to take us a long way. So first, let's cooperate. Let's love ourselves. Let's love ourselves. Let's work in cooperation. Let's work in groups and see how we can succeed. I'm a businessman. I can tell that the most successful business in Nigeria are crowdfunding. People come together, crowdfund, and do business. They want to succeed. They want to have money. So Africans can do wonders if they really want to. So the issue of love is very important. And then trust ourselves that we can be able to grow together. And then thirdly, we also need to look at other people who are doing these things and learn from them. There's no shame in learning. There's no shame in learning. So these are my submissions for now. I think others will come as we keep on discussing. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
You see, I'm feeling emotional because this has been a fight. And as I always introduce myself as King Fazen, your brother in the struggle, I remember somebody asked me, why are you always struggling? I said, I'm not struggling. It's actually a pain in my heart. The pain is so intense that you know who you could be, but you cannot just get there because of certain things, and you know these things. And many people seems not to know. No matter how you're shouting them on top of your voice, many people seems not to know what you're talking about. It becomes pain. And when we cry on top of our voice that Africa should unite, we are not saying you should love everybody. At least let us agree on one thing. We are not saying we should agree on everything, right? Even if we hate each other, when it comes to making money, let us agree that this is how we want to make money as a people.
Well, yeah, I agree with you, King Fazen, and yeah, since I know history, even if you look at World War II, the majority of the people that fought World War II were from Europe. They were European powers fighting each other. It wasn't the rest of the world. They got involved later, but it was the European powers that were at odds with each other. Britain, England, France, Russia, all of them, got at odds with each other. The point I'm trying to make is after the war was over, they're still doing good. So they don't get along. People from England don't get along with people from Germany. They don't get along. They can't stand the Germans. The Germans can't stand the British. Trust me, I know. I was in Europe. The French don't get along with the British. The British don't get along with the French. But yet they work together. They work together. Somehow they work together. They get along. They share each other's money. They buy from each other. They do something to keep everybody afloat. Same thing over in Asia. Them people don't love each other, man. They're not sitting there like, hey, man, come over to Japan for a week and then we'll go over to South Korea for a week. No, it don't work that way. But yet they come together on a common ground. It's called economics. So what I'm saying is just like King is saying, just like you saying, brother, is that why can't we come together on an economic concept or economic standpoint, and let's work together economically, and then you go back to your respective lands and do whatever you want over there. But at the end of the day, we all doing good. I mean, I don't even get along with people in my own family, but at the same time, I want to make sure I can give them some money or give them some economic support.
Yeah.
You know, so the thing is that, you know, that, I mean, I see it all the time. I see it all of the time. I see it all. It's sad. It hurts. But I'm not going to give up because everybody else seems to be doing it. Even down in South America, people don't get along. The Colombians don't get along with the Venezuelans. The Venezuelans don't get along with the Colombians. Come on, y'all. Even in Central America, the people from El Salvador don't get along with the people from Honduras. It doesn't take much to do a light research, and you can find out that there's these divisions all over the planet, yet a lot of those divisions don't affect the economies. The people are still living nice. So, you know, I know for me, I tend to look at differences and try to make them into positive things. So I try to find similarities in everyone that I meet versus the differences. And some people say, oh, well, that's good for you, Adamu. That's good for you. I don't want to do that because those people over there hurt my people back in the day. And then hurt my people. But I get that. I get that, y'all. I get that. I mean, I'm in America. The people that are running America definitely hurt my people. They hurt my people. But if I can learn something from them, or I could have some type of alliance to try to work things out on an economic level, then I'm gonna go back to my community and you go back to yours. And at the end of the day, we should be able to benefit together because people ain't gonna just disappear from the planet. They're not gonna disappear from the planet. So, yeah, right. My question to you now, brother, is, you know, like you mentioned some stuff and whatnot. So do you have any ideas about how to unify people who actually been through some hard times on the continent? You know, like war, or, you know, I'm hearing about religious differences. I'm hearing about war. I'm hearing about social classes, the rich against the poor. What do you think we got to do to get through those things, to try to get to a point where everybody can benefit?
Sorry, I didn't get you very properly. The network was a bit breaking. I didn't get you very clearly.
All right. So the question I have is, with all the differences that you see in Africa, there are many differences, like religious differences. There are differences caused by warfare. There are differences caused by social classes, rich against poor. I'm hearing a lot of the politicians on that side, they want to take all the money and run with it and all this stuff. So with all of that being said, do you think there could be unity? And if not, you know, why not? You know, because something we got to talk about this. You gotta discuss it somehow.
All right. Well, that's a hard one, but I actually it's a hard one. Yeah, but I think, yeah, because there's been so much distrust, already going on.
Right.
So much distrust already going on. Yeah. It's a bit hard to say, but I know that one language all of us here is the language of finance, language of money. You know, the warlord needs to finance his wars. A hungry man needs to eat food. Um, the leader needs us to work for them. So I think we have a common ground in poverty. So because we are suffering, we don't have enough resources. I think one way that we can unite basically is to see how, if you ask a normal African, how can we make money? You know, because like I'm telling you, King Faza mentioned that our leaders buy the cars and fly in jets. Every person wants to live because they think that if you're a leader, you are entitled to some money.
Exactly.
So that's what is driving them to. So I think all of us, I like having money. I don't care whether it comes in dollars or or whatever currency. Since it's going to get me to buy something, I love the money. Yeah. So I think the language Africans we hear is the language of money, the language of economic growth. If you tell anybody, my experience working with rural communities is that when you go to them at first, they are skeptical. When you say this is going to help you take your goods to the market to sell, they begin to listen to you. So the skepticism begins to go away. I am in a community where we're having some challenges. I'm a farmer, and we're having challenges with herdsmen.
Yeah.
So, but I've had cause to meet some people who having herds, the Fulanis, for instance, at some point in time, and they don't seem to want to fight me because I go to do business with them. So I think the aspect of money is one area that can unite us together, and whatever we are doing, just fight for resources that are already available. That is it. So the only way, one of the ways, not the only way actually, one of the ways you can be able to cause unity in Africa is to show everybody their selfish interest. That's what I call it my selfish interest. What is my selfish interest in this thing I'm doing? So if I have a selfish interest, I do it. And my selfish interest can be for the better, can be for the worse. All right. It can be for instance, with the staff farmer program now, my selfish interest to have plenty African agro millionaires. So that when I don't have money, they can give me 1 million naira. That's my selfish interest.
Yeah.
If I have 1 million agro millionaires whom I have helped, who have nurtured to become millionaires, and I suddenly don't have money, at least they'll give me $1,000 or $1,000. I'm already a millionaire already. That's my selfish interest. I don't know what's our selfish, but if I want to have a common ground for our selfish interest that are tailored towards growth, I think it's gonna help us to move forward. Because I've been doing that because I want to enjoy, and you be doing because you want to also enjoy. At the end of it, all of us we will gain what we want to gain and live on. That's a summation I have concerning that aspect now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zendido. That was very, very informative. Selfish interest. We must have one. And another thing, trying to add on the question that Ajamu asked, what we should do in Africa in order to reduce this level of hardship we're going through is we the citizens. I just finished writing a book about the voters. It's titled "The Voters' Commandment," and I think it's high time we even stop blaming the leaders because these leaders they come among us. They come among us. Nobody has fallen from heaven to lead us, and every time opportunity is given to us to choose a leader, we're not thinking with our head. We're thinking with our stomach. You see, there are guys that you cannot trust them with your $100, but you can trust them with your vote. You know these guys very well. You know that if they lead, you know that if they lead, they are going to destroy the community. They are going to destroy the nations. But just because they go to the same church with you, they worship at the same mosque with you are giving them your vote. But when things begin to go the way they are going, you are blaming the government. No, you shouldn't be blaming the government. You should be blaming yourself. So I think there should be more enlightenment among our young people. Let them be very careful with their vote. Since we're living in the democratic countries all over Africa, let them be very careful with their vote. Let them know who they give their vote to. Because these people that live around us, we know them. We know many of them. Some of them cannot even take care of themselves. Why do we trust them with our public offices? If somebody cannot take care of themselves, you see. But tomorrow, when everything begins to fall apart, we begin to blame the government. We voted them in there. Because imagine, when we leave Africa and go to Dubai, and all our leaders want to go to Dubai. The structures that are built in Dubai, they're built on land. We have land. You see, we have everything, but these people, they cannot think of that. Just like you rightly said, 50% of people who goes into politics, their first idea is to make money. You don't make money of becoming a public servant. No. If you want to make money, go into business. Allow politics. You see. So I think this is very, very important that the contribution of Ajamu from United States and a lot of our brothers from United States supporting our cause and our movement. We will come together as young people and we will tell ourselves that this is how far our suffering can come, and that is what I believe. We can tell all of this. And Zandido was saying something that makes me so sad. He talked about lack of mentorship. There is the old politicians. You'll be surprised that somebody who is 70-something years old is still stealing money. What are you going to do with that money? You see. So I think we should be realistic with ourselves and know that this, we might be different. Like if we come to Africa, we almost 54 countries. But if we get an Ajamu, I'm telling you this, just watch, you will see. Every guest that we bring on this show, be it from Kenya, be it from Madagascar, our problem is the same. If we have leaders, when was genocide in Rwanda? 94.
Right.
Yeah, in 94, that was when there was genocide in Rwanda. But as I talk to you now, Kigali is the most beautiful city in Africa.
King Father, does it mean that does it mean we need war to thrive? I say, should it be that we should fight there and after killing so many people, we realize that we need to work hard and make our cities great? Is that what we need to do in Africa? Just like Ajamu said, look at the Vietnam guys, look at the Korean guys. They are thriving now, right? Because they were struck to a point that nobody thought they would recover. So we need to be stretched to that point too before we can recover. Must we learn the hard way, Just thinking anyway. Just thinking.
Yeah, it is. But there is always a solution, and here is the solution. Until, like my mentor, my hero, Nelson Mandela, he said, until you become angry with a situation, you will not change it. If you are still laughing and all of those stuff, like if we go to my country of birth, which is Nigeria, where you see politicians spending public funds, they even call it a national cake, and that is so annoying. To a point that I feel like punching them in the face. But then if we don't get angry with these guys, our young people will think it is okay they will think that is the definition of a leader.
If you start talking about politicians, we will not leave this place because let me tell you a story. In my university days, I'm a unionist. I'm Congressional, as you know. So I did unionism in the university, and we went to do it. Someone was contesting for my local government's student union leadership, and I'm telling you, it's not it's a very sad story. And because this guy took us as stakeholders as at then, and kept us in a hotel, and of course lodged us, and later they brought young ladies, to be attached to people that were lodged in the hotel at the level of studentship. So a student doing that, you know. So later in the day, I was amazed at what they were doing. That was my first time experiencing that kind of thing. Students bringing ladies to give to their stakeholders so they can vote for them. At the end of everything, we sat at the stakeholders meeting, and one of them said, this guy is a good leader. If somebody gives you money and brings women for you, is that not a good leader? I was shocked.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything. These are the guys that are leading our state now, our state and some other of these things. Exactly. Why? Because the good guys are afraid of leadership. Politics is a dirty game, Abi. So many of these guys are not going to politics. So these same guys are going to be our leaders if you don't care, if you don't take care. These are the things that did in the university. And they are still now doing it. Like a few days ago, my wife was telling me a story about when she went to deliver a cake or something, and saw young ladies dressed in bikinis going around rich men, going around politicians, that she was scared to death. You know, this is gone. So how will people who behave like this think well and lead you? So we don't have leaders actually. We don't.
No, those are the people. Those are the people leading us. People with no iota of integrity. Nothing. No. The dark.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's it.
Yes. But we will sit in here and tell ourselves that it's politics. It's none of my business. If you read my book, the Voters' Commandment, one of the commandments I said, if you allow people with no hope, if you said politics is not your thing, you will be allowing people with nothing in their head to make decisions for you. Remember, those guys, they cannot even make decisions for themselves. And now you allow your decision to be made by them. So I think when we get angry as young Africans, and we stand up, and everybody watching me right now, that arising is coming. It is coming, and it is coming very soon. It is coming very soon. Because we are like really tired. We cannot continue to suffer in the midst of plenty. Because of Africa is not poor, it's just mismanaged.
Mm-hmm.
So why are we always putting wrong managers in the place? So I think when we get there and when we get angry with the situation and when we put our hand up to say, no what, enough is enough.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we just went emotional. We went like really emotional because these are things that affect all of us. And I think we have come to our end of this program. We have been talking a lot, but what I personally learned from here is that it is possible that we can survive on our own if we are willing. If we are willing. And that willingness comes from me and you when we get tired of the microscopic few people who are determined to frustrate our effort as Africans. This was what I learned in here. Sajamu, say a word or two to our listeners. Then our guest will say something. Then we close.
Yes. I have two things real quick. First thing is people's mindsets need to change as far as what they think leadership is. Leadership is not having luxury items and not providing for the people that you represent. Um, and then the second thing is that leadership is actually putting yourself last and everybody else first. So a lot of people they have to be taught that. They have to understand that in order for things to really change. I agree with you as far as politics. I've never been into politics, but now more so, I'm like, wow, that makes sense. I don't want nobody not or less intelligent than me making decisions.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want that. So I might have to run. You know what I mean? I might have to run because I don't want nobody to be. That's ridiculous, man. People could die for decisions that are made at a certain level in society. So, and Africa, understand that the time is now. There is no more excuses. There's no more excuses. There's time is run. Time is out. Time is out. It's out. No more time.
That is
No
that is
excuses. It's time to move forward. And the only way I think that we can move forward is we got to look at the leadership. You also got to look at what do you have as far as your resources, which we got a lot, abundance. And then from there,
exactly.
got to have some mentorship going on, as the brother said, and so forth. So these are some solutions that I think UNAP does speak about. And I encourage everyone to join us in this movement forward to liberate Africa. Also, too, please subscribe, like, comment on the web. I'm sorry, on the Facebook, on YouTube, what have we? Whatever, we got all that. We got it all. We got it all.
Yeah.
Sign up, come aboard. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Because as people come together, as the group gets bigger, then there's security in that. There is security in that. There is security in that when the group gets bigger. So don't be afraid. I'm on this side, you on that side, but we're all on the same side. We're on the same side, one family, and we got to move forward. All right, brothers and sisters, love y'all.
Yes. On closing, brother Zendido Shenge, can you say one or two things to our listeners, our viewers?
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to share my views with the rest of Africa today. I want to say that we have ended this conversation on a very good note in the area of leadership. And I just want my African people to know that leadership is not just in politics. You can lead in agriculture. You can lead in economics. You can lead in social works. All right. So just be a leader in wherever you want to be. For us, like for me and my organization, I have a company, Shanghai Global Limited, and recently we just registered Shanghai Ranch. And our idea is here we can have the largest ranch in Africa. Where we are looking at not having this ranch in one location. We want to have this ranch across Africa. All right. And so what's our intention? How do we make Africans benefit, from this? We are looking at the economic aspect of it now. How do we make Africans benefit, from this ranch? How can they earn from this ranch? So we said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to open up for investors so that Africans own this ranch, so that as they own the ranch, we have a ranch in West Africa, South Africa, East Africa, at least one ranch for a time. We started in Nigeria at this time, but we're going to expand to each part of Africa, so that Africans, even if there's no land, we can amass a land in a country over 100,000 hectares or a million hectares, and use that geopolitical zone to invest, bring young guys who can invest in that particular aspect, at the end of every year earn money for themselves, you know. So you know that whatever is happening, you are earning. So that's why I want to drive the economy through investorship. Young people start from Nigeria with our ranch, go to other West African countries, you know, and see how we can bring more people in. Secondly, through the Star Farmer program, we are looking at training people for free trainings, free mentorships in agribusiness, you know. And then at the Star Farmer program, we already started some empowerment programs. We empower some people with swines. We're empowering some very soon with maize, because you know that there's going to be a lot of hunger in Africa. There's war around, you know. These are the little things we are doing, and we are calling on all Africans across the world, see how they can partner with other African groups wherever they can find, you know, and support. For the staff from Africa, ours is to unite all Africans in agriculture and create cultural giants, agro billionaires. So I want to thank you so much, and I know that with this platform, our ideas are going to work, and with this other of your guests are doing in their own countries, you know that one day we'll meet together and say we can bring the ideas together, have a working document, you know, that we will imbibe at least in our children, the ones we are mentoring, so that they can be able to grow to a level where they can see Africa as their home and be proud of their heritage. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you very much, Zendi. Like, do you know that your plans and the things that you are doing already for your community, you're doing more than the local government chairman.
Ah,
I'm
I
serious. You're
see.
doing more than the local government. So what you said, I totally agree with you that leadership shouldn't only be in politics, but in every way you found yourself. So that is it, my man. Like as I said before, I am super proud of you, man. I'm super proud of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, still there are people who think our voices about Africa is just a noise. But believe me, a day shall come that this voice that many people consider to be noise will be the only voice of reason, that our children will stand and say, we became great people because of these voices. Thank you so much, Africa. Do have yourself a nice one. And we'll meet again next week, the same place or the same time.